Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zumala Fajriyyatul Husna from English Education Department 2017 will carry out a comprehensive exam on the subject of law or educational regulation in Indonesia. Here I will discuss the issues of regulation of education in Indonesia and English in Indonesia. First, I will discuss about education regulation in Indonesia during the COVID-19 pandemic. Secondly, I will discuss government regulation number 57 of 2021 concerning the national education system. And the third, I will discuss about the discourse of eliminating English lessons at the junior and senior high school levels. Okay, let's go to the first topic, namely about education regulation in Indonesia during the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 emergency period, which required all teachers and students to learn from home, didn't just change learning locations and methods. The Ministry of Education and Culture makes various learning adjustments that do not burden teachers and students. This adjustment is contained in Circular Number 2 of 2020 concerning prevention and handling of COVID-19 within the Ministry of Education and Culture, and Circular Number 3 of 2020 concerning prevention of COVID-19 in the education unit. Teachers are encouraged not to complete all material in the curriculum because the most important things that students are still involved in relevant learning such as life skills, health, and empathy. It didn't stop there. A series of other policies were issued in response to the development of the spread of COVID-19, such as the cancellation of the national exam (UN), adjustment of school exam, implementation of distance learning, and an online approach to the students' registration process according to Circular Number 4 of 2020 concerning implementation of educational policies in an emergency period of coronavirus disease spread. In addition, there is a policy to adjust the use of school operational assistant or BOS and flexible BOP to meet school needs during the pandemic. This refers to the two latest regulations. The first one is Permendikbud number 19 of 2020 concerning amendments to the regulation of the Minister of Education and Culture number 8 of 2020 concerning technical instruction for regular school operational assistant. And the second, Permendikbud number 20 of 2020 concerning amendments to the regulation of the Minister of Education and Culture number 13 of 2020 concerning technical guidelines for non-physical special allocation funds for operational assistance for the implementation of early childhood education and quality education for the 2020 fiscal years. Okay, let's go to the second topic. I will discuss about government regulation number 57 of 2020 concerning the national education system. President Jokowi issued government regulation number 57 of 2020 concerning national education standards. This government regulation no longer includes Pancasila and Indonesian in the national education standards. This government regulation was signed by President Jokowi on March 30, 2020 and promulgated by Yasona Lawli as Minister of Law and Human Rights. Regarding the issuance of this government regulation, these provisions of the article in it have drawn polemics and criticism from several politicians, members of the DPR and MPR, and the citizens. This criticism is based on a very surprising thing, namely the loss of Pancasila in Indonesian from the national education standards, where these two subjects are very fundamental in the eyes of the state. So, as citizens, we must question the reason for this decision and must dare to remind the government, because Pancasila is a very fundamental state ideal. As the ideology of the state, Pancasila was born and the founding father was formed. It was clear that the goal was to become the spirit of the Indonesian nation. Including the loss of Indonesian, it will make the love and nationalism of the younger generation fade and the national unity is easy to tear. According to observers of socio-cultural issues, this amendment to this government regulation can lead the accusation and political cynicism against the government, with the possibility that issue being developed is that the government creates Article 35, paragraph 3 of Law number 12 of 2012 on higher education. The loss of Pancasila in Indonesian in courses will make it easier for other anti-Pancasila groups to enter the world of education. Therefore, it was investigated whether President Jokowi reviewed the government regulation and clarified to the Minister of Education and Culture about the elimination of Pancasila in Indonesian lessons. There is the law that must be carried out, and if it is true that there is an error from the Ministry of Education and Culture, they must be held responsible. But if the Minister of Education deliberately omits it, becomes a big question. Critics advised President Jokowi that if it was true that there would be a cabinet reshuffle, the minister would deserve to be reshuffled due to carelessness in making this government regulation, where the Minister of Education and Culture, the State Secretary, and the Ministry of Law and Human Rights. Okay, let's go to the third topic. Here I will discuss about the discourse of eliminating English lessons at the junior and senior high school levels. The world of education in Indonesia was taken aback by the circulating discourse on the elimination of English for junior and senior high schools. It is said that English will not be studied with book lines, but will be transformed into grammar practice or everyday language use. This is done to make it easier for students to learn English directly and not to be confused with the textbook lessons that are currently being used. Chairman of Indonesia Teachers Association, or IGI, Muhammad Ramli Rahim said Indonesian, mathematics, English, as well as character education based on religion and Pancasila are the main subject in elementary schools. Because of that, the English subject was removed for junior and senior high school, because it has been completed in elementary school. Learning English is more focused on teaching conversation, not grammar. Then, for junior high school, no more than 5 subjects are taught to students. Meanwhile, in high school, there are maximum of 6 subjects without majors. With this discourse, many English teaching teachers think about their fate in the future. Not only teachers, but also students from the Teacher Training and Education Faculty, English Education Study Program, also felt anxiety. They regret that English is a global language. Many think that the government sees the upper class community environment or the urban environment as having understood English first. In fact, maybe some of them use English as their everyday language. Then the situation will be inversely proportional to the people in rural areas. They can only get English learning resource from schools because English in Indonesia in general is not a language that is easy to learn naturally. Okay, need encouragement and material input. This is where the role of schools and teachers input and also training for students. However, many are still reluctant to respond to this course because the issue is still a issue and has not yet been made a decision. Then, in my opinion, even though it is still a issue, English subject do not need to be eliminated because English is very important in the 4.0 Industrial Revolution. English is the international language spoken in many countries, and the Indonesian generation cannot avoid international relations. So, junior high school and senior high school students should not be limited in their right to master English as a foreign language with the largest number of speakers in the world. Let English lessons continue to be taught at all levels, and all that needs to be done is to revise the curriculum. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much for your nice attention, man. I'm sorry if I make a mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.